It's always perversely amusing to see government justify its incursion into those realms that should be the bailiwick of the private sector. I speak specifically of liquor retailing and gambling. And you'd think that liquor stores and casinos should be run by private interests and that the government's role should be limited to regulation and taxation. But in most Canadian provinces, that's not the case. The provincial government runs the booze and betting businesses, and it justifies its incursion into these realms via that nebulous proviso of social responsibility. Translation: only government can be trusted to operate such potentially addictive activities because only government can be trusted to do the right thing. And if you believe that chestnut, folks, I have a certain bridge for sale in a New York borough. Now, Exhibit A is the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation. A few years back, the OLG was exposed for turning a blind eye to insider wins. People were being scammed out of their winnings, but the OLG chose to do nothing because, hey, they didn't want the bad PR, and besides, they have a monopoly, so who gives a rodent's rectum, eh? But when the fecal matter finally hit the fan after a Fifth Estate expose, the OLG's then CEO and other executives were given the boot. And there was a promise moving forward that the government gambling monopoly would be more accountable and more transparent. But has that really happened? Case in point, to maintain the integrity of the lottery games, there's always full disclosure when it comes to the names of the individuals who win jackpots. Typically, the OLG even sends out a press release. But a while back, a Markham, Ontario resident won a multi-million-dollar Lotto 649 jackpot. This mystery winner hired a lawyer who stated that his client wanted to claim the prize anonymously, and incredibly, the OLG acquiesced to this request due to the, quote, winner's circumstances. But what circumstances? And hasn't the OLG created a precedent? If you allow one winner to remain anonymous, how can you say no to other winners? Indeed, it turns out the OLG hasn't identified 4 major jackpot winners thus far. What does the OLG say? Well, spokesman Tony Batanti stated the following, quote, the publishing of OLG lottery winners' names is important in demonstrating the integrity of our lottery games. However, in rare cases, the name of a lottery winner is not publicized. A few examples for making this rare exception are threats to a winner's safety, issues of domestic violence, or a winner is an undercover law enforcement officer, end quote. Well, there you have it, folks. You want to keep your name out of the newspaper? Just make up some story that you fear for your life, and mum's the word. But aside from granting winners anonymity, we've uncovered another disturbing example of social irresponsibility, namely, the OLG and other provincial lottery corporations are actually using false advertising to market the National Lotto Max game. Here's the skinny. The lottery corporations say that the odds of picking 7 out of 49 numbers is approximately 28.6 million to 1. Well, guess what? The odds are far worse. 3 times worse, actually. I contacted Jeffrey S. Rosenthal, a professor of statistics at the University of Toronto and author of Struck by Lightning, The Curious World of Probabilities. Professor Rosenthal notes that the number of ways of correctly choosing 7 different numbers out of 49 is actually equal to 85.9 million to 1. So why are the lottery corporations stating the 28.6 million to 1 figure? Well, evidently it's because each Lotto Max ticket features 3 lines of numbers, not just 1 line, but that doesn't change the odds per line. That remains at 85.9 million to 1. This is garden variety false advertising. In the meantime, I'm sending a formal complaint to the Federal Competition Bureau to see if it can make the OLG do the right thing by at least posting the correct probabilities of its games. Because as it stands now, folks, the odds of the OLG acting socially responsible on its own accord would make even the most reckless gambler cringe. For the Rebel.media, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.